up? It's your favorite attorney. How are y'all doing? I know I haven't had a big one today. Some of the girls are like, Ali, with your hair wavy like that, you look like you're, on a beach, flowing. Girl, I want to be like, girl, I will trade you that beach and raise you a club. Okay. No, I'm just joking. How are y'all doing today? Never mind my nails. I had to take them off. I got a manicure this weekend. I was tired of the nails. I said I need to take them off. Let my nail beds rest because my nails are so thin. When she starts to file them, I just want to die. So I was like, can you just take them off, and then I'll come back in a couple weeks. Let my nails grow. And they look such a mess. And so they pinned, all of my nail polish is gone. They told me the nail polish was going to come off. And then I would, because my nail beds are not, smooth, because I took nails off. Well, because they took nails off. I tried it anyways. Look like I'll be going back on Thursday. So ignore my nails. I have 2 of them painted out of 10 figures. So, y'all already know what time it is. Y'all already know how this goes. Okay, this is the court of my public opinion. Let me get my gavel, because y'all already know I'm playing with the gavel. I am an attorney, but this is the court of my public opinion. Okay, this show. And so what happens is y'all write me stuff and y'all, ask me questions, and I pull you up into the court of my public opinion and I answer them. Okay, I don't really like to so much as call it legal advice, because although I'm an attorney, I get a very limited understanding of what's going on in the case, and I get that limited understanding from one side. Okay, and I'm not able to conduct an investigation, etc. So how do I know that this is exactly what you're telling me is true? Blah blah blah. So I can't really call it advice per se, right? Because I don't know much. Okay, but I will answer your questions and put you to the court of my public opinion, and I will rule right here and now. And that's what we're here to do today. Okay, I always tell everybody you can please like my videos, subscribe, hit the notifications so that you know anytime one of my shows is coming up or anytime I post. Yo, is this eyelash want to be crooked? Y'all, today is a horrible day. Okay, I've been in court all day. It's just been an ugly day, and it started out with this eyelash, and I just should have known this morning this day was gonna be as crooked as this eyelash was when I put it on the way I did, because it's crooked. Everything is crooked today. Yeah, phone ringing, stuff is like in this. Anyway, I've been in court all day. I can't say that enough. Okay, so let me go ahead and get to the email. Let's get it going. I'm gonna use some, we're gonna do some criminal defense questions, okay? Because y'all tend to like to hear about those types of cases, okay? First question. How much time will someone serve in prison if they will be doing 15% on an 18-year sentence? My husband was sentenced to Garza West Unit for robbery threats. We're going to pull her in the court of my public opinion and take it on down to the ground with her. This is the first thing I want you to know. Boo-boo, you did not need to ask me. Naughty boo. He's in the 1st grade. You could have asked his teacher, baby. She could have bust that down for you, honey. This is what happens, guys, when you don't pay attention to school. You basically are asking me, what is 15% of an 18-year sentence? Boo. Do the math, okay? We are going to do the math for her, okay? We're going to take 18. We are going to times that by point, okay? Point 15 for 15%. Ma'am, that is 2.7 years. Okay? 2.7 years. Okay? That doesn't mean 2 years and 7 months. It means 2.7 years. Does that make sense? Okay? Because one whole is 12 months. But you're at 7/10 of that whole. Okay? On that other side. But it's 2 years, a little bit over half a year. So, over 2.5 years he'll have to do, if that's what it is. But I want y'all to stay in school. You won't ask people questions like this, number one. But one of the things that she did, we're gonna, I'm gonna pull her out of the court of my public opinion and tell her a little something real. One of the things that you always want to know when you're dealing with a robbery or a, threats case, it is not a 3G offense here in Texas. We have 3G offenses. That means if they are aggravated offenses, you must do half of your time. Again, you must do half of your time on these cases. And so she's saying he doesn't have to do that. This is just a robbery by threats. Guys, let me tell you something about parole. Parole is discretionary. And it is granted by the government, who has set a board up to be in control of whether or not a person will spend their entire sentence incarcerated or whether they will be put on parole papers when and released from jail early. Now, it does not mean they are released from their sentence. They are still on their sentence. They have been released from jail. However, there are strings still attached because they are still serving out their sentence in release. There are rules to their release. Okay? Now, in order for you to get that release, you have to catch parole. Okay? You have to be granted parole. And because there's a board, it is at people's discretion. It is at people's discretion. There are board members that take a vote. They hear the case administrally. Okay? Administrally. Meaning they're not judges on the street, but they have a job that is akin to a judge off in the parole department. Okay? So they hear these cases and they cast their vote. They're like a jury or a judge, and they decide, whether or not this person is going to be granted parole. Okay, and then the other people will vote as well. And based on these votes, or the voting members' votes, you are granted parole or not. Okay, and so to say that, and so I assume that she's trying to say, hey, he didn't do much, it's just a, robbery by threats. This is not a 3G thing, so he shouldn't be doing half his time. But I will tell you, whenever you leave something to someone's discretion, and I'm joking around, but I'm serious. Whenever you leave something to someone's discretion, they can really basically do whatever the hell they want and claim that, it was for another reason that they did it. Does that make sense? And not the real reason that they did it. So you don't want to be in an area where you are, it's at someone's discretion what's going on with you. I said that to say this. That is a robbery by threats. Although he does not have to be, it is not a 3G offense. Parole is something that is earned and granted at the discretion of the department. With that being said, girl, he may not be out no 2.7 years on no robbery by threats, depending on what he did and the circumstances surrounding whether or not they believe he is safe to be loose in the community. He was given 18 years. So it's hard for me to believe that someone's going to parole him at 2.7. Whether or not he can come up for parole, I understand what you're trying to say. That does not mean he would necessarily have it granted. It does not mean he would necessarily have that granted. So, just because a person comes up for parole doesn't mean they'll be granted parole. They got to go before the parole board. They have to tell, ma'am, 2.7 years is going to be more like 4 to 6. Next case, we're going to move on, because you're not going to get no 18 years. Ma'am, you're just not. I'm not. And it doesn't mean that's not. I'm not the person that's voting. But I don't see him coming straight out like that. I don't see that happening. If he does, please write in and let me know, because I would like to know that. But I don't understand how the community or a judge can give someone 18 years and we have a loophole in the system that's going to walk them right out in 2.7. The loophole is that the board decides. And so the board has to decide whether they believe that 2.7 years incarcerated is sufficient on an 18-year sentence. Am I making sense? And so when you're in the discretion, they may say no. So although he may come up, he may not get granted. And they may lean towards treating it like a 3G, even though it is not basically a 3G. They can decide not to let him out until half his time or right before half. You also have to look at the number of times somebody has been incarcerated, guys. Everybody thinks they're coming out, oh, I'm going to catch my short way. I'm going to do this and do that and get up out of there and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to claim my medical and then I'm going to catch a short way. Okay. You like it, I love it. But at the end of the day, there's a board that we have to go in front of, okay? And that's called the Parole Board of TDCJ here in Texas. And they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. They have heard it all before. So you have to understand that you cannot go out here committing these crimes and doing these things, guys, and then think you're going to catch parole because you can catch parole early. Just because you can catch it, just because you can catch it don't mean you will, doesn't mean you will. Okay, it's like Corona. You might be able to catch it, but do you want it? Okay, so they may not be giving it to you. Okay? But man, stand by your side if that's what you're going to do. I'm taking you back into the court of my public opinion. If you're going to be a down, then be a down. Be down. If you're not, then go. Because that 2.7 years may not be 2.7 years. I'm just being honest with you, baby. You're young, you a girl, I'm going to tell you. Be down or don't. We're going to move on to the next case. Okay. Storage place filed theft for truck rented. I was in the hospital. Can I get out of the charges? I rented a truck from a storage unit. I ended up going to the hospital for mental reasons. My aunt tried to take the truck back, but the place would not tell them anything or try to work with her and said she didn't have location or account, and there was nothing that could be done. My roommate, who was in possession of the truck, did not take it back like promised until a month later. The rental place never called except the first 2 late days. I honestly didn't think I could not trust my friends, so I called my friend. How can I get the charges dropped? Baby, go to court, child. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to lose weight, so I gotta eat on time. Even if it's during this show being filmed. Baby. I'm gonna take you to the court of my public opinion. Let me tell you what I think. Baby. Yeah, Annie. She tried to take the truck back, but the place wouldn't tell them anything. Couldn't have been my Annie. Because it would have been nothing to tell her. Because you'd have had the keys and the place. She'd have recorded. Dumped the shit off at the front. Put it off in the drawer at the front desk. And had a cousin recording this. And left. And would have left the truck on the property and burned. And skirned. That's what would have happened. They'd have got their damn truck back and on time. Because at the end of it all, what were they going to do? Call the police on my Annie? That's what you'd have had to do, and call the police, and she'd have been like, I'm trying to get a truck back. I'm going to take the keys. My nephew is in mental institution. My niece is in a mental institution. So, your Annie, you're not black. You're not black. I'm not even trying to pass judgment, but you're not black. Because a black Annie turned the car in, and that's the end of that. And they just took the keys. They just took that cash out. Might have gave her a receipt and the contract, even though she wasn't the person that owned it. By the time my Annie was done, I'm just saying that's just my Annie. I can't speak for other people's aunts. Okay. And then I would also like to discuss and talk about the fact that your roommate who had possession of the truck needs to be paying for the damn truck. If he had possession of the truck, was he driving the truck for his own use? He might have made some money moving people with that truck. We don't know. Because then you couldn't trust him. You see how you went on and you couldn't trust him and he wouldn't turn it in like he promised till a month later because he was using the truck. He needs his behind handed to him. And don't put words in my mouth. That can be in court. That could be with a small claim. That could be with anything. Your foot. I'm just joking. I'm joking. But he needs that. He's the problem. He's the culprit. Because if you're not gonna turn my truck in, don't drive my truck. Don't tell me you're gonna turn something in. No, I'm in a mental institution and not turn it in. You know my Annie tried to turn it in and had issues. Why didn't you turn it in? So the fringe is a little suspect to me in the court of my public opinion. Then you want to talk about the rental place. You're saying the rental place never called except for the first 2 late days. Duh. So they can put a skip trace on it and call it stolen. Why would they call you every day, give you a chance to pay for part of it, and not be able to come with criminal charges? They're pieces of shit. They want to get you in trouble, so they're not going to really call, right? They're calling, they're going to do it to the police. Then come back and probably put the money on you for the truck, which I don't think that you're going to get out of. That money you're not going to get out of. Now, the rest of the things that you're going through and you're arguing on, then you heard what I had to say about it, but the money you're not going to escape. The charge is getting dropped. Well, you have to prove in Texas that there was an intent to permanently deprive them of their truck. And I would argue that it wasn't. If you're in a mental institution, you clearly did not have the mens rea, which is the culpable mental state, sufficient for them to be able to get a conviction on you for that. So I'm going to err on the side of no, you're going to beat the case. But you also need to beat some people's ass. I'm just joking. But that friend needs to be drugged for filth verbally. Physically, if you can make it happen. No, I'm just joking. I'm joking. Guys, I don't advocate. I'm being funny. I need to stop. But I don't see an attempt to permanently deprive. I don't. Which is sufficient for a theft conviction. If what you're saying is true, you ought to have the proof that you were in the mental hospital. You had a truck. You was in there. Get affidavits from those other people, especially your aunt who tried to take the truck back and they tried to act funny. I don't think the DA is going to want to continue on with that. I don't. Just what you tell me. But you know, sir, the next time that you're going to take a little puff, or hit a little, bump a little bit, take shit back that you have rented. Next case. Next case. If you're going to bump a little bit, or smoke a little bit, you know you already have been to the mental institution. You're not telling me this was your first time going. And I'm going to go on and say, look like they tired of your ass, and that's why they didn't take their step back. I don't know what else they've had to do for you over time. I'm being serious now. But the charges, I'm not concerned with the charges, sir, and I don't think you should be. You need to speak to your attorney about that, but I wouldn't be. I'd pop my collar on it and step through the door. Okay? And be like, what? Intent to permanently deprive? It's not there. You're on there. You know, that's just me, though. Moving on, though. I'm going to close this case and move on because every time you think you're going to bump a little bit and smoke a little bit, I want you returning everything. That is my ruling today. I want you returning everything, sir. I will hold you in contempt, baby. I'm going to hold you in contempt. And double. No, I'm going to treble. We're going to triple the amount of damages, which is what they argue that you owe them. You're going to be paying budget whoever back 3 times if you do that shit again. If you know you're going to bump a little bit, smoke a little bit, go off the handle, and you don't take people their stuff back before you do that. Okay, next time it'll be 3 times the rent of the vehicle. Next case. I'm going to rule. Location, I live in Katy, Texas. Do I have to appear at court for a traffic citation I never received? JP Court shows the court date for a traffic citation. I was never issued or mailed a citation, baby. You're in Katy, Texas. That means you can be in Harris or Fort Bend. Well, when I started out becoming a lawyer over 12 years ago, that's one of the things I first started off doing is traffic tickets. And baby, whatever that computer say, you damn well better do. I'm taking you to court in my public opinion, girl. Girl, good luck trying to prove that you didn't get it mailed or issued. Good luck. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, honey, if you were written in at a traffic stop or something, I mean, you need to see. Maybe it wasn't you, but you need to appear in court nonetheless. You don't need a warrant out, especially for something you didn't do or you wasn't a part of, right? And see, let me dissect, because you're in the court of my public opinion. We're going to be honest with each other, right? You came to me, so I'm going to tell you how I think. honey, this is what you asked me. You said, do I have to appear in court for a traffic ticket I've never received? You didn't say, Allie, I didn't do it. Allie, I don't know nothing about it. Never happened. It never happened. You didn't say it never happened. You said, I didn't receive the citation. See, I'm listening to you. I'm running it down. And I had this talk with my assistant today, baby. People think they can flip-flap, come around, sling around with some shit the long way. Baby, all people do in the legal industry, if you are an administrator of any sort, you have to hear cases of any sort. You have to deal with issues on any way, in any way. A clerk, admin, a lawyer's assistant, a paralegal, a doggone coordinator of a court, an attorney. We know, baby. We see the game is run on all. We have seen all the game all the ways. And so when you're speaking to someone that has a legal background, baby, you better look at that diction, cause I'll call it fiction. Okay. You got to look at the diction. Because if not, I call it fiction. See, your diction, the way that you came at me, the words that you used, well, not that it didn't occur. The words that you used when you wrote me, and I'm not the DA. I'm just helping you because I just want you to know how to go in court speaking and going somewhere and come and act the person the right way. You're gonna come at people in the right way, right? Okay. So from a legal perspective, the first thing that anybody legal, assistant, clerk, any administrative judge, a judge, anybody making decisions, a probation officer, a parole officer, anybody, a bailiff, anybody, the police, anybody is going to look at what you just said. And what you just said was, I have to appear in court for a traffic citation I never received. I never received. And then you go on to say, it was never issued to me and I was never mailed it. You didn't deny the existence of it, that you shouldn't have one. You didn't say you shouldn't have one. You don't know what's going on. You just said they never gave it to me. So I don't know how they're gonna say I need to appear in court. I can get the notice, right? No, not right. Because anytime that you have notice, because you do have notice now. You have notice because you said JP Court shows the court date. So whether or not your notice was self-induced or they gave it to you. Once you know about something in court, guys, you show up. You do it to protect yourself. You don't want to play snide or cunning, coy, and get popped with a judgment when you shouldn't have. If it wasn't you, then you need to appear and say it wasn't you. But you don't ever write an attorney say that you didn't get the citation, so you were never issued the citation. Just because you didn't get it don't mean you wasn't issued it. You could have drove off. You could have walked away. I don't know what the circumstances are, but I'm never going to tell you don't go to court and your name is on something and they saying that they're going to issue a warrant out for your arrest if you don't show. Or you will be negatively impacted if you don't show. I would never tell you not to show. At that point, once you saw it, and yes, you need to appear some way, somehow. Go the day before the traffic citation or well before and go speak to the clerk. Call and find out what's going on. See if they can answer some questions for you, but ignore it, no, because then you will have a warrant out for your arrest. They will already conclude the case, but they will put a warrant out for your arrest. That's how it'll be concluded. It'll be abated, held in abeyance until they catch up with you the next time. And who knows where you will be. You might be at a concert somewhere with your next new man. You could be at a church function. You could be with, the pastor. You get pulled over. You tell the pastor you're going to take him around the corner to his house down the street or something. Drop off his wife some her coffee. And you arrested in front of the pastor's house. So, you handle things, children. In the court of my public, I'm going to tell you in the court of my public opinion, you need to handle things. You don't let them linger. You don't let it linger. Okay, like I tell my children, it shall not linger. Okay, about every loose end that I've ever encountered. Every loose end that I did not tie down came at the wrong time and slapped my black behind dead in the eye. You understand? I'm shocked that I don't have scars. You tie down a loose end. And that's on all fronts of your life. Do you hear me? Religiously, legally, personally, you tie down loose ends. Because if you don't, baby, it'll come back. It'll be back to meet you. And not when you wanted it to meet you. And not when you're ready for it to meet you. Not when you're ready to meet it. Does it come? It comes at the wrong time and at a bad time. Handle the ticket, girl. Come in here and just show asking me questions like that. Can I just try to play myself? No, you cannot. Next case. Because I want to know how this is a criminal defense question. And I'm probably going to have to end it here. Because, see, the madness that is displayed by me reading these criminal questions, I can talk for days. Here we go. Y'all ready for this? I found a fingernail in my drink. How's that, criminal? Unless you beat somebody's ass after you thought. Hold on, let me keep reading because you never know. People do some crazy shit. Okay. I found a fingernail in my drink. What should I do? I reported it to the manager and she acted nonchalantly. Oh, she did? I was drinking a drink at Buffalo Wild Wings and sucked a fingernail through my straw. I am completely grossed out. Girl, let me put you in the court of my public opinion. Not only are you grossed out, but you are drawn out. Okay? And you're too much for me to handle. Too hot to handle, too cold to hold. Okay? I can't deal with you. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you dramatic, boo. Okay. So you got a fingernail. Did you die? Did you call the health department? Did you get free food? Because that's all you can do. Posting a criminal defense question on an attorney's email ain't gonna do you no nothing. Ain't gonna do you nothing. So you should have handled it with the Buffalo Wild Wings manager, management, and corporate. But to write me like it's a criminal offense, girl, bye. Next case. This is what I'm saying. Next case. I'm gonna do y'all one more. I can't. Baby, I do not like when people write me in all caps. Let me tell you something about when you write somebody in all caps. That means you're yelling. And you don't yell at me. This is what they wrote. How can you fire a court-appointed lawyer? No, this is what they wrote. How can you fire a court-appointed lawyer and get another intent? Because it's in all caps. Don't holler at me. I will tell somebody quick. Don't write me in all caps, bruh. Tone it down with the all caps, please. You know, it's rude, it's disrespectful. A lot of people don't know. But, you know, when you're writing all caps, a whole thing, you know, everything you're saying in caps means you're yelling. It's rude, it's disrespectful. How can you fire a court-appointed lawyer and get another in Texas? Son been in Harris County Jail for almost a year, and his lawyer has never contacted him. Goes to court in December. He needs a new public defender. How do we go about getting this done? According to my public opinion, let me put you in power. The first thing that you can do is hire your child an attorney, since you got so much to say. Okay? Because it looks like your child is grown. Okay? It's grown, and why can't they hire themselves an attorney, or you hire them an attorney if you have a problem with what's going on? Okay? Because let me tell you something. Very few people are crawling off in the jails today for visits. There are other ways that attorneys can visit your child. They don't have to come physically see your child. They can Zoom your child. But guess who else can go down to the damn county jail? You can. And you can visit that child. And you can also go to an attorney's office and hire one. People work my nerve with that. They have so much to say, but they paying for shit. And don't get me wrong. Court-appointed lawyers are supposed to provide adequate representation. And part of providing adequate representation is meeting with your client. But I want you all to know that I work with certain court-appointed attorneys. I know a lot personally, and all the ones I know do what they have to do. So I'm not saying that there are court-appointed attorneys that don't, because in all ways, there's always people that take advantage of things and don't do what they're supposed to do. But I will say this. I don't know about that not seeing somebody since last year. I just don't know about that. And if that's the issue, then he needs to write the judge. But I think he has seen his attorney, just not in person. And so I don't think that's a valid argument. Because nobody have to catch no damn corona to represent you. That's not what has to happen. Jail visits, I do all mine Zoom. My clients are seen quite frequently. But they will not. I mean, every now and then they will see me. I will come to court in person, depending on what's going on with my incarcerated guy. I will. I do tend to do those court appearances in person, but that's me and what I do. You know, I can't tell another attorney how to run his office and what he needs to do. So, and it also does not mean that attorney is not being adequate if they find another way to do what they need to do. You know what I mean? So, it's just one of those things where I can't really say anything because I don't really know. But I can tell you can always hire your own attorney, but court-appointed attorneys are good. And let me go ahead and answer your question. If something is wrong, if the person is being wronged by their court-appointed attorney, they can write the court. It doesn't mean the court's going to give them another attorney, but the court does like to know if you're having issues with your attorney. If they feel that somebody else needs to be appointed, either because you're not getting along with that attorney or it's not furthering your case isn't being furthered because you and that attorney cannot get along and it's a stall, they will appoint you another attorney. But I can't tell you, I can't tell you exactly what to say or do to get that attorney appointed because it's a case-by-case basis, and the court does not have to do that just because you want another lawyer. That it's a case-by-case, and if the judge believes that in the interest of justice, in the interest of moving the case along and getting it to a closure, whether that be by trial or otherwise, they need to change attorneys for you, they'll do that. And it doesn't necessarily mean that your attorney did something wrong. It just means in furtherance of, everything being okay, the court will grant somebody else. It doesn't mean that anyone did anything wrong. So, petition the court. Your son has to petition the court. But it doesn't mean he's going to get one. Okay? It's up to the judge. Everything is up to the judge. Always, guys. Everything's up to the judge. And, I hate to see it sometimes, but, but nothing stops a person from writing a letter to the court. I will say you need to pay attention to what you're writing, because sometimes people start writing about the offense and doing all types of stuff, and that's an admission. The DA can read anything. Look, I'm messing with my ear. The DA can read anything that is off in the file. But, you have the ability to write the judge, You say, hey, my attorney's not coming to see me. I'm scared. I haven't seen my attorney in over a year. I haven't had any meetings with my attorney. Can you please appoint me someone else? Sometimes they will, or they'll put you on that docket. They'll fix it. I have never seen a judge not give a shit about something like that. But you also better make sure you are correct when you say some shit like that, because, honey, that person may just not have seen y'all in person. But it's hard for me to believe that your son has not had a court date in a year. I just don't believe that. So I believe that your son has seen his lawyer because he's had court dates. And I believe that he's probably Zoomed his lawyer. His lawyer hasn't come up there, and his lawyer's not doing what he believes his lawyer should be doing. It does not mean his lawyer's not working or that the lawyer's wrong. That's up, I tell people all the time, look, y'all say so many things, but really, especially on criminal cases, a lawyer has no reason to do anything wrong to you. Especially when it's a bad case, it's a murder, it's aggravated robbery, it's a robbery case, and you can get double digits. Because we already know that y'all gonna file appeals when you go to jail. We know that. We know it. So why in the hell would we do some messed up stuff so that we can be in trouble on appeal? So the court can find us ineffective. It's just not something somebody's aiming to do. Somebody's never aiming to be ineffective. I just don't think that. They can not care. But most of the time, attorneys are appointed because they have shown the court that they know how to handle a case. And judges are very particular about making sure that the defendants have a fair shot most of the time. So they don't want to put crappy court appointments on cases that can get writs against them. Because what it does is bring the cases right back to the judge that heard them to begin with. And so they don't want to hear a case again. they don't want a high docket with a whole bunch of cases on it. That doesn't make the judge look good. So a judge is going to make sure that they have, an efficiently running court. And so that is one of the things that makes sure that the court runs efficient. So I don't know if I just agree with everything you're saying, but I'm not saying that you are wrong. Okay, but it's a case by case basis, and that's how that's done. All right. So with that being said, guys, we're gonna close out. Okay, I think we have heard enough. Okay, from the criminal members. Okay, of our little gang here. They have asked a lot of questions. It has been, some good ones. Some I wanted to send them back to elementary school, but it is what it is. And you always get good questions, bad questions, and questions that you feel like they should have known the answer to. But like I was telling my assistant today, you just never know. People should know the answers to certain things, and they just don't. Sometimes common sense is not so common. Okay, and that's even with smart people. Doesn't mean somebody's dumb because they asked them a certain question. So, but y'all have a fantastic day. Okay. Until next time, court will stand in a recess. Holla back.